What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a new episode. I'm saying a new episode of A Minute with Stoney Stone because we're not new. We just changed the format. If you notice, I got somebody better looking than me. I had to make this more interesting and get more followers. I'm like, you know what? I need somebody better looking. So, Darren, welcome.
Wasn't hard to find me either.
No, it wasn't hard. So, Team Sift and Old Farts fishing team are now doing this podcast together. I thought it would be some great dynamics with us having our own teams and fishing a lot of the same tournaments in different waters and kind of doing our own thing. But it also shows that we can work together when we're off the water, but when we're on the water, it's all business. It's all business.
All business.
And he's teaching me some business because we're still not winning. We'll get there. We're going to get there. But thanks for joining the program on Monday. So every Monday we will be on here talking about fishing.
Yes.
So, and Eric is still part of this. He's the man behind the scenes where he wanted to be all along, and now his wish is my command. He's behind the scenes, and we are doing our fishing thing. I do have some gifts that came in that I wanted to share, talk about a little bit. So I got these cool little shirts here that came in. I don't know what it even says. Don't be jealous just because you can't catch fish like me. So my Uncle Jimmy.
Is that for me?
That's for you. It's for you. My Uncle Jimmy sent these to me. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to wear these, donate them, give them away to people, but I have them. Kind of a cool thank you. We definitely appreciate gifts.
Yeah.
I like getting gifts that I can re-donate, like give away for a raffle, do something. I don't want to just keep everything for myself. I like to share.
Those are nice.
Yeah, these are nice. These are nice shirts. So
yeah.
Got two of them here,
Yeah,
and they are 1, 2, 3 XLs for me. And then I can't forget Big Willie. Big Willie, amazing fishing from Lancaster. Always sends me mystery boxes, and he just says, "Hey, I got a box going to your house. I have no idea what it is." So we're gonna open this up and see what Big Willie sent. I'm assuming we have a tournament coming up, so he gave us. I'll check these out. Got these little pliers.
Very nice.
Those will be a raffle that we can give away at some point. And I got a lot of little mystery packages of scent. And I don't want to open those up because it's just a lot of scent. Oh, look, you got a little beanie. Nice. Look, fits bald heads better this one. Does that fit your bald head?
Oh, I'm sure it would. Let's see.
And another beanie. Triple X Blood beanie. There you go. Big Willie, appreciate you, buddy. There you go. You could win that in a raffle. Look at Darren.
It's a nice one.
No, it's nice, and I don't like beanies. You know, I don't. Just something about being a Mexican and wearing a beanie. It just doesn't. I don't know. We won't go there.
Cliche.
It's too cliche. But Big Willie, appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. We will be donating these for a raffle. To help support the Catfish Bash, which is a perfect segue in to the next subject.
Yes.
Catfish Bash is this weekend.
Yes, coming up
this
fast.
weekend. It's coming up quick. A lot of teams have gone out there. A lot of teams have come up with goose eggs.
Yep.
I know I think it was last weekend, not this weekend, the weekend before last.
Yep.
A bunch of teams went out, and it was kind of a split deal. You and I went out there. Bassline Bangers were out there, I believe. A couple other teams, and I know we didn't catch fish.
No.
And I think the other teams did. I think Kevin went out there the next day. Randall LeBoy was out there. A few others. Brian was trying to show us a few things as well, but we couldn't put fish in the boat. So it's going to be challenging.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. But it's going to be an even playing field.
Yes, for the most part. There are some guys who know a few things, but it's definitely going to challenge us. And that's one reason why, you know, when Jake and I talk offline, one of the things that I would like to remind Jake, this is why we moved it, right?
Yep.
Is the leaderboard was constantly being the same teams. Mm-hmm. Everybody's catching fish, and we get a lot of newcomers in. And, you know, for the guys that do this, it was almost too easy is kind of what I think, you know, we were thinking was happening.
Yeah.
So we wanted to mix it up, make it, like you said, an even playing field. Let's go to a new water, new everything. And are people going to get skunked? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And most likely it's going to be.
I'm not planning on catching a fish.
Yeah, you said something about, aren't you going to bring your fish from home? I think the fish in my pond are probably bigger than the ones we're going to catch.
Yep.
But make sure you check our live well, because
yes.
No field trips for my fish. But yeah, this weekend, the Bash. So I think we have 16 to 17 teams registered. I know one team has not paid yet. Hopefully they, ante up their money here real quick, and maybe we'll get a few latecomers that register in the morning.
Yep.
But we'll see.
And we still got a week, So we got 5 days, 4 days. 4 days.
We're supposed to have some great weather. The storm's supposed to come and go, and the wind's supposed to be down, and so it's any man's, any man's or woman.
Yeah.
There's some women out there.
Yep.
So looking forward to it. We are having a captain's meeting on Wednesday, 7 o'clock. It's out there on Facebook. If you need the number, it is going to be on Zoom. So if you got into this call, you know how to do Zoom.
Yep.
If you didn't get into this call or don't want to use Zoom or whatever the reason is, you won't get in the captain's meeting. And that's okay. It's not mandatory. We're doing it as a thing. I told Jake, let's just do this, see who calls in. Just more of a question answer because it is a new lake to be able to pass on any information to anybody that may need to know, where do I park, where do I go, those types of things. And,
well, that and the lunch times are different and weigh-in times different.
Right. So we'll go over that in the captain's meeting as well. But one thing I can share is that we, because of lake rules and things like that, it's not a tournament thing that we're not launching late because we want to. We're trying to follow the rules with the lake. But the live well checks will start at like 8 o'clock. And we hope that somebody will be there at 7 to allow boats to launch and at least get on the water and have things checked out. So, but officially 8 o'clock is when we'll start, and then 9 o'clock is blast off. So plan on anywhere between 7 and 8, things will start happening, and then 9 o'clock, we're all in the water. You go out, fish, come back by 5 o'clock. Inside the buoys and do the normal routine, weigh the fish in. The only thing I don't know off the top of my head is, are we going to do 3 fish or 5 fish? There's been a few different things we talked about. So for sure, Saturday morning, you'll know.
Yeah.
If Jake provides that information sooner, we'll pass that along. We'll talk about it in the captain's meeting, but you still have a third chance to know what it is the morning of. You'll be told.
Yep. And then it could be just like us, weighing no fish.
True, you don't need to worry about the number. Hey, we at least have 1 fish from there. We did catch 1 catfish.
You did. You did.
So far, we're beating you on that lake.
I think Aaron took it home and ate it, though.
Yes. So Catfish Bash, you can't wait. It's going to be an amazing time. There's a lot of hard work has gone into it, and Jake's been working pretty hard to make this successful. So appreciate everybody's patience, and that's where we're going. And before I get too far along, you're probably looking at this video going, what the hell is this little purple thingy here? So, I take Dad everywhere. I thought it was kind of weird to carry a urn.
Yeah.
So I figure it's less weird to carry a martini shaker.
Yes.
But we're going to bring Dad to the fishing tournament and see if he brings us any luck. So it's either going to work and we're going to win and Dad brought me a lot of luck, or we're going to be skunked and I got to debate whether it's us or does Dad just stay at the lake. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You never know.
We'll never know. We'll find out. But Pops is here. Thanks. Never been to one of my podcasts. And now I can say, Dad, been to a podcast.
Yep.
Anyway. Other fishing news that's going on. Actually, I want to do a fishing report a little bit. So
okay.
This is more of a fishing report, meaning this is what Darren did. This is what I did. This weekend we did not fish together.
Nope.
You went, where'd you go today?
I went up by Verona, the Feather River and Split. And there was a lot of boats there. There was, I'm going to guess there was at least 40 trailers in the parking lot. At the Split there was probably a good, I would say 15 to 20 boats.
Okay.
Not a lot of people catching, though. Not a lot of people catching. As for as many boats as there was not a lot of woohooing going on.
No nets flying.
No nets flying. We seen one guy out there hook 1 fish the time we were sitting there.
Okay.
We did end up getting my fishing partner Chad ended up getting a nice I think it was about 23-inch keeper,
Nice.
a little bit further down from the split. We chose to go up into the shallow water. We were fishing in about 5 feet of water when he hooked that fish, and he fought pretty good. But that was about it. We caught a bunch of little catfish, getting ready for Lake Mendocino.
So you know what the little ones feel
Yeah,
like?
yep. We're using our bait poles.
There you go.
Yeah, it was a nice day. It was a beautiful day, but I don't think the stripers are up there in the numbers yet.
No. Well, they're definitely in the Delta. Lots and lots and lots of boats in the Delta. So we were out with Rob Stoddard with Stoddard's Guide Service. As you guys know, I do go fishing quite a bit with lots of different guides throughout the year. And we did some filming. That video is up on YouTube already. And I believe I've posted onto Facebook. But you can check that video out from the weekend. We had limits. We definitely limited out. We pretty much stayed in one spot. And, I'm not great with naming the spots. Half the time, these fishermen have these names that they come up with that I don't know if they're telling me the truth or if that's really a name or not. And, we have our own names for certain spots we go to that nobody else knows, but we know kind of what we call it. But I think it's called Eddowes, or, where that big sign is, that white with the red letter. I think it says Eddowes, right?
Yeah.
So we were pretty much in that area along there before the barges, kind of going up against the Thule line there. And we went shallow, we went deep, and you kind of moved throughout the day in and out based on what we were seeing on the graph. And a lot of people catching. So there must have been 15, 20 boats around us just in that area. And so it's not a secret spot by any means. Right. There's a lot of people there. But we did see a lot of nets flying, and, we got our limits. And I'd have to say, without prejudice, you can watch the film back video. But, I was fishing Kevin Brock's rod. I brought my own rods, which I normally don't. Rob is using a lot of Kevin's products already. But I brought Kevin's rods. Rob had Kevin's lures. Made that combination, and I actually caught more fish this time. Mm-hmm. Normally, I'm not. It's Anthony or whatever. I'm sitting there, and Anthony didn't catch a fish till like later in the day. I'm like, holy Toledo! It's like he's going all day. I caught fish. My brother caught fish. Anthony was still struggling, but he ended up catching fish. But I think the biggest fish of the day was definitely caught on Kevin's rod and his lure. So if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely go to kevinbrock.com or fishkevinbrock.com, or go to Chico. Yep. Go to the tackle box there in Chico that has all his products in it. So it was a great fishing weekend. I will be out on Thursday out of Calusa, I believe we're going to film with Kevin Brock for some from Striper on the Calusa and Sacramento River. Okay. So that film will come out as well, probably after the weekend, but we'll see how we do there, and definitely to be testing out his products. Yep.
One other thing is nice that Verona is now open again to launch.
Yes.
It is a $20 launch fee, but it's a little more safer, I think.
As I said, I don't think people are, I haven't really heard people breaking in there, but at least it's somebody's paying to go in. They're not just riffraff.
Yeah, and you do have a caretaker that was out and about.
Okay.
So it's watching your stuff.
I'll pay the $20.
Yeah, for sure. And they from what the gentleman told me, they had dredged that launch area out. Yeah. So when the water does come back down, you should still be able to launch in the summertime. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, I like Verona. It's a lot closer for me too.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I are 30 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
So cool. Striped Bass Derby, NorCal Guides Association, Striped Bass Derby, April 12th, 13th. You guys getting in that or no?
We haven't decided yet.
Okay.
We haven't decided. We're going to see how bad we get licked this weekend.
So this one, normally I stay out on Anthony's place during that time, and we fish both days. In the last 2 years, we've had Cletus and Clutch. If you guys watch us, know these two young kids that go out and fish quite a bit, and we've had them on the boat, and we usually get some great video. Reached out to them this year to say, hey man, we going fishing, we're doing our normal thing, and they're out of town.
Oh darn it.
So he was pretty disappointed, but I'll definitely get with them and get them back on the fish, not necessarily for the derby, but just another fun video with those guys. But so Anthony and I will be fishing that on our own. So it's kind of good that I'm going out Thursday with Kevin, because now I kind of got a feel for kind of what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Where the fish are least. Then we'll see if they're still there, but they do move. And I do have some news on Catfish Wars. Catfish Wars. I was told by Eric,
the little bunny,
that on Easter there's an Easter release of the trailer, not the pilot, the trailer or teaser, or you're going to see something come out on Catfish Wars before the actual pilot comes out. So Easter, or should I say 420? It just happened to be 420. He was getting all religious on me. He said, we're going to do it on Easter. And I'm thinking, no, man, that's 420. You have an ulterior motive.
It's going to be all the highlights. It's going to be the highlights on 420.
It's going to be the highlights. We're going to release the Catfish Wars highlights on 420. So we'll see how that comes out.
Should be good.
I hope it better be good.
Yeah, we're waiting long enough.
Oh, damn. Look, he gets off camera. Now we just give him shit. That's all right. But yes, Catfish Wars there is work being done on it. So it will come. Thing is, I don't want to rush it, right? You know, we go out fishing, you make videos, I make video, we're doing videos, and it's just like boom, boom, boom. We're not spending hours to fix sound, to fix lighting. I mean, it's raw, it's out there, we're just showing, we're having a good time. But for this, it's not that.
Right.
We're trying to make it a movie, something you would see on, Netflix, Hulu, any of those networks.
That you will see.
You will see.
Yes.
So with the help of all of you people, we'll be able to blow this up, and we'll all be stars. We'll see.
Yep.
So let's see. What else? Oh, speaking of podcasts, this has taken a whole new direction, and we're now talking fishing, which is awesome.
Yep.
Appreciate you jumping on board. I also been working with Kevin Brock. As you guys know, I'm like Kevin Brock. Kevin Brock is just like, because we are working together. We've been working on a bunch of things behind the scenes for probably a year to 2 years now. And now a lot of that stuff is coming together. And so the podcast we do on Thursday nights with Kevin, the Real Talk with Kevin Brock, that I host, and Kevin's the star, that one's taken shape. We had quite a few people call in last week.
Nice.
And so we'll just keep that momentum going, and we'll follow Kevin around and what he's doing and where he's going, and what's going on with the tackle box, and what's going on with his guide business and his products. And
so I got a question for you.
Absolutely.
When does he go to Oregon to start fishing for the salmon?
So I know
how's his books looking.
His books are pretty full,
Okay.
Unless he has a cancellation. I would definitely still reach out to him, because some people cancel, and at least he'll have a list of people that are interested. I know we're going out in August. I have to look at the exact date. I don't remember off the top of my head. But Anthony and I are going up in August, along with, it's kind of a cool trip, because it's Anthony, Warren, Dave Mayo, come on, Warren, and my buddy Jeff, one of my clients. We're all going to go up there and spend a couple days and go fishing with
beautiful
salmon. Yeah, so we did it last year and shot a lot of footage. Shameless plug for Old Farts is go to our YouTube page, look under the playlist for salmon, and look at the Gold Beach video. That video came out pretty cool. There's a couple different ones. There's a little short one kind of showing a little bit about the area, but there's one with clients that we did, and some cool drone footage. It's just phenomenal with the drone footage. But go check that out on Old Farts Fishing on YouTube, but the Gold Beach footage, and we're going to get some new footage this year.
Nice.
And
yeah, we're going to try to see if we can get a trip up there. We went up 2 years ago. My wife caught a little jack salmon.
Yeah.
I told her I've seen trout bigger. She got a little bit upset, so now she wants some redemption.
Standard issue. I mean,
yeah. This was below standard. I've raised my standards since then. So yeah, we're trying to get another trip up there so she can get into a good sized salmon.
Sweet.
It'll be fun.
Very fun. So now that we have a new format, one thing we were going to start doing is I want to start pulling guests. Now that we go through the Zoom software, we can pull guests into this remotely. So I'll be reaching out to a few people, people in mind that I have just off the top of my head that I could fill up, quickly. Definitely want to get Kevin Brock on here, but with them having a podcast on Thursday, it might be later on because he's already doing something. But definitely get Daniel with Hook 'em Big, Big Willie, Amazing Fishing, like to get out here. Get Matt from Snag 'em and Bag 'em. get some of the guides on, like Rob, just went out with Rob, get Rob. But people that are in the industry that either are small business owners or running something to do with fishing, their own business. So all the names I just rattled off are guys that are small business owners.
Yes.
Or a guide of some sort. We get Golden State on here, if they want to be on these, but make it more informative, pull in guests and hopefully get people scheduled out so we can tell you who's going to be here next week. So it's kind of the direction we're going with it. So it's just not me always talking. It's doing a lot of talking today. But I want to get Darren to talk more and I want to get our guests to talk more. And we're about to that point now where I open it up to you guys that are dialed in. I don't even know how many people, 3, 4 maybe.
About 4.
About 4.
Hey.
We have an iPhone. Who's the iPhone?
I don't know.
Got to start somewhere.
But if there's anybody online there that has any questions they want to ask, and Derek can do his magic and pull you in, and we can do that. And if not, that's okay too. Well, we'll see if anybody. I thought, is Anthony still on?
Anthony's still on.
Anthony's still on.
He's driving.
Okay.
Oh, Ken.
Ken.
What are you up to?
Let's see.
Ask him to unmute.
So you should get a request on your phone that says unmute. So we'll get a request. You unmute yourself. Oh, I hear something. It's Ken breathing heavy.
Yep.
Is he trying to call in or?
No, he just unmuted.
Oh.
Ask him a question.
Ken, I don't even know. Are you registering for the bash? I don't remember.
No, I got a work weekend, and I have work in the booth with Matt Striper in Rio Vista.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's this weekend on the Rio Vista one.
Yep.
Yep. Well, that's probably why we're not fishing the Rio Vista one like we did the last year or the year before that, is because we're doing the bash. So
Yep.
That
was a good one though too.
what's that?
The team will be fishing it. I just won't be.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny is, before it was like just trying to find tournaments to go to. Now it's like, well, which tournaments am I going to go to? We've gone from feast to famine, and funny thing is, our catch rate hasn't gone up. No, we do better when we're not in tournaments, and I think a lot of that is we're still unseasoned when it comes to tournaments. So you get those tournament jitters, or you change something. It's like, you know what, we need to get back into we're just going fishing. It's not a tournament, because we always do much better when we're not in a tournament.
Put pressure on yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that just comes with being a seasoned tournament person. That pressure goes down because and I think we're not there yet. We're still trying to figure it out.
For sure.
I definitely never claimed to be the best fisherman out there. I just, get involved and do a few things, and hopefully we climb that ladder. But that ladder's been a little slippery lately, so hopefully we can figure that out.
Right. Let's see if Jake.
Jake,
to say.
Jake, you still on there, buddy? You got anything you want to say?
No, I don't got nothing to say, Stoney.
What? Jake has nothing to say? You've been talking my ear off for a week. You got.
I have been, man. I got a little bit of jitters before this was going to happen because it's a new lake, but I'm pretty confident it's going to go really smooth. The fishing's going to be a little tough, but like we said, we switched this lake for a reason.
Yes.
And I'm sure we'll have some complaints, and we'll learn from that and just keep on moving on and make this more competitive with each lake we choose.
Yes, sir. And this is why I like Jake, and this is why we work well together. And I just kind of throw him on the spot a little bit. Sorry about that. But we are here, I would say 98% of the time we are on the same page, lockstep. I'm just here to help him grow this thing, and we're doing it. And I'm really glad to be part of the Bash Association. And Jake, you're doing a great job. I know it's a tough job being a tournament director, and they probably don't tell you enough. And I know you don't get paid enough for it, but you are doing a great job. So
no, we don't make any money, neither of us. But it's it's just an enjoyment seeing it get bigger and better, and the feedback we get from everybody, just making it a good time. Something that we were missing and we didn't have. Now we have something every other month we can go to.
Yes,
sir. Have you gave? I'm assuming at some point people are going to start asking about October. You give any thought or anything you want to talk about with that, or we're just going to
definitely not Lake Mendocino. It was really going back to Lake Mendocino, I fished it last summer, and so did my friends and a lot of people, and it was a real fun time. You got tired of catching so many fish. They were small, but it was enjoyable. October, it's kind of tough to find an outside venue because it could be raining. I would like a different lake again. You know, there's a lot of things in the air, especially because the permits are taken at Clear Lake.
Right. So I would say we just got to tell people to stay tuned. There will be a change potentially in October, or what's going to happen is we do this tournament and everybody catches fish. Say, "Oh my God, Jake, this was the best time ever! I can't wait for October."
That that's not going to happen.
Come on, one could dream. It's after 420. I had a vision.
This is a lose lose. But the good thing is, it's going to be an empty boat. Boat ramp, lake. We'll have plenty of room to figure things out without having a lot of pressure from people around us and different organizations. There's no tournaments on Lake Mendocino, so it's a perfect spot for us to learn and move on from there.
Right.
Well, then I wouldn't say it's a lose-lose because any day you're out fishing is a win.
Yeah, that's true. I just think there was extra stress and finances on this lake, and the lack of registration we have. I kind of figured that would happen, and all the bad reports coming from Lake Mendocino just didn't really help.
Yeah, but I think, if I look at least I speak for myself, is when I do these tournaments, it has very little to do with actually winning. It has everything to do with hanging out with people, doing something we love to do, having that competitive nature of each other, and that's one reason why I do it. Now, if we win or place, that's just icing on the cake. I never look at it to where I'm going to get any of this money back. It's more of it's cost me money. If I can recoup some, great. If not, I'm paying for a good time. That's what it boils down to.
Well, one thing you can count on is that me and my wife and my buddy, he's not going to be able to make it this trip, but we pretty much committed ourselves to all the bashes this year. We're going to do them all. Whether it's a good lake, a bad lake, whatever it is, we're going to be there. So.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of other teams that are along the same. So I think no matter what we decide to do in October or when that takes shape, I think even if you left it alone, it might be a little smaller. But I think the people that are in it, and they'll stay with it. And, you have more and more of those supporters coming out. So I think we just keep doing what we're doing, Jake, and everything's going to work out.
Yeah, I have one concern. What's going to happen when my team wins this one? I feel like we're going to win, man. I got that confidence.
Sure, I feel a side bet coming on now.
Well,
I feel like we got, my team did catch 5 fish out of there. That's why I'm pretty excited. I've been sitting down in 10th place like the last 5 tournaments.
Hey,
I know
$20 you're going to be done. $20.
I know I direct these things, man, but I still want to win every once in a while.
$20 you're gonna I get $20 if you beat us.
All right. No, it's not fair. Oh man,
almost had it.
Almost got
you almost got me. Well,
it's all right. It's all gonna be fun, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be a good time. And you guys that can make the captains meeting via Zoom next Wednesday, hit me up or just follow directions on the little Zoom link. And we'll see what happens. All right, Jake, thank you, buddy. Anybody else have any questions or want to bring up or talk about anything special?
No one's unmuting.
No one's unmuting.
Huh?
Yeah, so there's a little mute button. You can unmute. Eric will see it, and then we'll just have you start talking. But this is the whole point of this podcast. We'll eventually get there, right?
Yep.
New format, new way. People are trying to figure things out.
Yep.
See, this is the part when I come in and brought in the entertainment for the last back half of the 30 minutes.
Yeah, but that's when we lost all our users too.
Well, this is our Lake Mendocino podcast today.
Yeah,
it's gonna get better.
It can only go up. But this is why I love, why I coined this as a minute with Stoney Stone, because people say, "Hey man, I'm gonna go to the store. When are you gonna be back?" I'll be back in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a minute could be a minute. It could be 20 minutes. It could be 3 days.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yep.
That's the same with this podcast. It's a minute with Stoney Stone. Sometimes it can be an hour. Sometimes it's not. And,
Yep.
This might be one of those ones where it's not.
That's okay.
But you guys will help us grow this and develop this, and send us your comments or guests, right? I'm going to start reaching out to guests. I do want to have I may have a guest next Monday, but we're just coming off of the tournament.
Yep.
So if anything, it'll be Jake if he's available to call on and be a guest, talking about how things went from a tournament perspective. And
that'd be good.
So I'll try to make that happen with Jake if he can make that happen.
And also get suggestions from the people and how we can improve and what we can do to make this better. And
we have a lot of those opinions coming in already.
Yeah.
Constant. But we bring them on. Don't stop.
Yeah, bring them on. I mean, it doesn't mean we're going to take your opinion.
You're free to tell us anything you like. And it'll always get received with that's a great idea, Ken. Yep. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. I love Ken. Ken is one to definitely reach out to me on a regular basis and give me some ideas to say, hey, do you think of this? And he always has, I mean, guy's been around. He is the definition of a little fart. He is definitely fits the role. Very knowledgeable in fishing, and so him and I do talk quite a bit about different subjects on these things. But he definitely has a lot of good ideas. I just give him shit. But no, Ken, I definitely appreciate everything you tell me behind the scenes to make things better, right? Yep. And like I said, we don't always take everything, but there's a lot that definitely we try to implement.
Yeah, and I'll have to meet Ken one of these days in person.
One of these days.
I haven't met him in person yet.
So. He is,
yeah.
You will never forget. You'll never forget. Yeah. The other thing I like to do too is potentially product reviews, right?
Yep.
Is different products. And
now that you brought that up, I do have to give a shout out to as a Big Willie with Triple Explode.
Yes, sir.
Because that's what Chad caught his fish on.
Oh,
he put that Triple Explode all over his bait, and that thing it just hit it and took off. It didn't nibble, it didn't do nothing. It just smacked it and took off. So
it definitely works.
Yep.
It definitely works.
That was the first words out of Chad's mouth. Yeah, this stuff really does work.
I like to say, I like that stuff's like Frank's Hot Shot. Was it Frank's Hot Sauce? I put that shit on everything.
Yep.
It's the Frank Hot Sauce of fishing.
Yep.
Put that on.
Yep.
And it's a dab of do. You don't need to do a ton. We used to just marinate it and just like soak it up. And I'm thinking, are we putting too much? I don't know if there is too much, but we noticed that when we started putting a little less.
Yeah, I mean, it could be too much when the hazmat crew's coming out to the river. Then you're putting a little too much.
Ben Harper raised his hand.
Oh, let's see if Ben. Is Ben on?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey, I'm on there.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, I was just out here by my pond. I was gonna say that's Lake Mendocino. Maybe you guys, if you could see the screen and you can see where I'm at, maybe you could tell me which catfish I should bring.
I told Stoney he's got to leave his at home.
Well, it's funny because I've got 7 catfish in my pond, and I think one of the catfish is bigger than the one we caught when we were out there. So
he doesn't know it, but I'm going to sneak out there after the podcast and tag every one of his fish just to make sure they don't come to the lake.
That's what I was out here. I was looking at these going, man, I got a bass and a bunch of sun perch. I go, damn, I got to get a catfish because I need to bring one to Mendocino.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds like my pond, buddy. I've got bass, catfish. I got a few koi in there. I got a goldfish. I'm trying to get I'd love to get a little crappie in there. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I want to bring one of them big catfish from Clear Lake home.
She will eat everything in your pond.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think your pond's quite big enough.
Anyway, I'll see you guys Saturday. I was just wanting to say, hey, I'm trying to pick out my fish right now.
All right, buddy. Enjoy, man. I can't wait to see you Saturday.
Yes.
All right, man. I'll see you. Bye.
See, this is why I changed this format. Just that right there, right?
Yep.
Is we want people to dial in and, raise your hand on there. Say, yeah, you got something you say, and we'll just bring you on. Even if you want to show us your fish, I don't care.
Yeah.
Anything you want to talk about. This is the point where we're going to let it go on to have some interaction with you guys, with our audience. Mm-hmm. I want to say fans, but I don't know if we have enough followers to say fans. I kind of feel weird saying all of my fans. It's like, I don't have any fans. I don't know.
Then they might be like, wait, you only have fans? What?
Only fans.
Huh?
You got a page too? No. But no, we want to make this interactive. And Ben, I appreciate you. That was awesome showing us your little pond there.
Yep.
And who else has got? Anybody else?
Well,
No, everybody's quiet tonight. Anthony, I don't know if we can get Anthony on. I wanted to have him talk about his weekend fishing with Kevin.
You there, Anthony?
Well, let's turn off Anthony's video, but then unmute him.
Unmute. There.
Oh, he's in the middle of fucking nowhere, isn't he?
Yeah, probably. He's breaking up still. He was out in Orville or some shit.
I thought he was scuba diving. That's the way it sounded.
Yeah. No. Sorry, I feel like the radio show, right? Next caller, please. Your caller number 22.
Yep. I can run out there and have like my wife call in.
Anthony, you still there? You driving? What are you doing?
Yeah. Yep. How about now? Can you hear me?
There we go.
So, how was your weekend? Tell us about fishing with Kevin this weekend.
Oh, it was good. We went, with Rob Stoddard, man. It was a blast.
Kevin's
we had to really work for him, out there. But he put on Kevin's lures and stuff, and he was really putting a clinic on out.
Nope, breaking up.
Yeah, we definitely got on the fish
all
there.
Our limits.
And definitely got limits. For sure.
Yeah. We've seen the bite better, but then we've seen the bite worse. But yeah, Rob, he's your guy, man. He gets on.
And we caught him.
Back to the bait scent.
Right.
Yeah, those Kevin Brock lures they were great, man.
So one of them tried to swallow it. I mean, it's like bare the beak. The little bill was the only thing sticking out. I mean, that thing chomped that whole thing all the way down.
Yeah, he was barely. He was right at the legal limit too. So I was really glad about that because there's no way that fish was surviving. We took him up. We took him home. My wife cooked him up for me that night. So we had him. My wife gave me the fish fry that very night.
Nice.
So
that's cool. Farm to fork.
Yep.
We did bring up the whole scent preference to Rob, and he had a whole different approach to it, huh, Stoney?
Yeah, I don't even remember what he said about the scent.
There's two.
Says something about confidence.
Yeah, there's two types of fishermen. I think I'm always going to be a scent guy, but there's those fishermen that are out there that have never caught any fish with scent on, and they don't use it. But as far as what me and you have discovered is every time we use the scent, we tend to catch bigger fish. So,
and I think that's the difference too, right? You get bigger fish.
Yeah. I was missing the anise oil. I wanted so bad to put some of that triple X anise oil on there. On that trip worm. We have the OG garlic blood that worked really good. And exactly 1 year from this day is when yesterday, me and you were on the Delta, and we got our first 17-pounder of the year.
Right.
Using that triple X blood on that trick tail. So, man, ever since then, I always ask you, I always make sure we have it on board. Because when you're getting skunked and or if it gets slow, go ahead and drop a couple of drops on that, man. It's amazing. It works really well.
Yes, it does. And we'll definitely be using that in Mendocino. We'll see if those fish like it there. I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Yes.
Yep. I bought some new bait to try out there at Mendocino. Some of that, what do they call it? Punch bait.
Yeah.
Yep. Bought some of that punch bait and told my wife, "So we might as well try it. We can't hurt. We're not going to catch any less fish. That's for sure."
Well, it's funny too when you start getting into catfish bait, right? Is you hear all the way from a spectrum of stinky, dead, smelly, all the way up to fresh.
Yeah.
Right? And everything in between, from artificial baits to bubble gum to tampon, like we use with some triple X blood on it. But everything is like, you ask anybody, hot dog, spam, chicken, just
chicken, yeah.
salmon, mackerel, anything, shad. So it's almost like, well, what do they not eat?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They eat everything. It seems like, so trying to figure out what they want to eat is another story.
That's the trick, is figuring out what they're eating now.
Right. There's certain things that you can't go wrong with. With shad, a lot of people like that, or a lot of people use shrimp. Things that are in the natural body of water, right? I don't think you can use bluegill there. I don't think you're supposed to use bluegill anywhere in California, if I understand
from what I understand, you can use them down in the Delta for stripers.
Okay.
Striper bait. But they got to be caught there.
Right. They got to be from there. So for Mendocino, you can't catch a bluegill and use it because it would be considered illegal.
Yep.
You can't bring a bluegill, right?
Yep.
But if you found a fish at the grocery store that resembled a bluegill, and that's what I do with shad when I can't get a shad. So I went to Google and said, well, what is like shad?
Yep.
And herring comes up a lot.
Yep.
Right? And other fish, but herring was the one that, I know what that is. And I'll use that when I can't get shad. And it works.
Yeah, it does work. It does work.
I'm thinking about, well, what fish can I get at the grocery store that's like a bluegill? I'm thinking, well, maybe a sunfish. You can get sunfish there. It doesn't say bluegill. It's like some kind of from Asia sunfish of some sort. And there's a pokey or something.
Packaging with
Take the packaging with you.
So that way, if that fishing game question you bought it. And
here's the package. Here's the receipt. Here's the date. It was yesterday.
Yep.
But I've never done it, but I'm thinking, that could work. Night crawlers, maybe.
Night crawlers always work.
In fact, that's what a lot of people say. Well, I just use a night crawler.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what people used to do.
Yeah.
You didn't have all the fancy baits. You
not at all.
Dug some night crawlers out of your backyard and throw on a hook, and you were catching fish.
Chad, he catches sturgeon on night crawlers. So
it reminds me is when I was a kid, my Uncle Jimmy, the one that sent us those shirts, he lived with me and my mom when I was really young. I must have been 4 or 5. I still remember this, going fishing with him. And I remember during the day, he'd go out there with a water hose and wet the lawn down. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm going to get worms. I'm like, I'm a little kid, worms. I'm like, it didn't make sense to me, right? Just like just water. But we go out there as soon as it got dark. Yeah. And you go out there and the worms are just coming up. You just, with a little bucket, pick all the worms up. Yep. We didn't pay for bait. We didn't have, shit, I barely had food to eat, let alone go pay for bait type of thing. And I was only 5, so I didn't have anything. But I'm just saying.
My dad used to use the old extension cord on the 2 screwdrivers. Cut the end of the extension cord off and wrap the wire of the one piece of wire of the extension cord with the electrical tape on the metal part of the screwdriver, and the other one with the ground. Stick them in the ground, plug the extension cord in, and all the worms come up out of the ground.
Wow, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, it works good.
Just shock the worms.
Yep, they come right up. Yep, works good. That's
crazy. But hey, wherever you gonna get your worms? Yeah. I normally just go to Johnson's Bait and Tackle.
You could,
or down the tackle box or Chico, but
just make sure you're wearing shoes when you do.
No shit, right? Is that how you lost your hair?
Don't tell me.
He's just like a battery. It's getting worms. Just getting worms. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was in here stalling. Eric's got one of my Nikon piece of junk cameras is crapping out again.
It's only your camera. That's fine.
It's only my camera.
Yeah.
It's
he must have blamed the Nikon.
Darren looks fantastic this entire time.
I broke it. He's like, like you broke your face broke the camera. Told you at the very beginning of this podcast, I wanted to get somebody that was better looking than me.
And he's still looking. And he's still looking.
We got rid of Eric because he wasn't better looking. I don't know. We put him behind the camera.
Yeah.
No. But a lot of fishing going on. Filming trips. Yep. I think I talked about filming with Kevin on Thursday. At Calusa. I haven't been down there for a minute, but
I've never fished Calusa. I've been up to Meridian area.
Yeah.
But never fished actual Calusa.
Yeah, no, we do a lot down in that area, especially when I used to live in Marysville. It was a lot closer now. It's a little further, but we make the trip.
I'll have to make it up there one of these days. Maybe depending on how it goes, see if Chad can make it up there to Calusa the following weekend for the Derby. Mm-hmm. Maybe one day.
And what's nice with that derby, you don't need to do both days.
Yeah.
They're independent of each other.
That's good. 'Cause, yeah.
So I think we're doing both days, and yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Any other questions on the thingy there? Or are we questioned out? No.
Ken says unmute him. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
There
We
we
can.
go.
We can hear you.
So the thing that we're talking about, the worms with the rod, is called thumping worms. It's old school technique that's been used for years and years.
I knew old fart would know.
Yeah. You're talking the one where they use the two pieces of wood and drag it across it, right?
Well, most people, what they do, they get it like a spike, shove it down the ground, and just hit the spike. And that vibration will bring the worms up.
Okay.
You don't use electricity?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah. My dad did it with two screwdrivers and an extension cord and stuck them in the ground.
It's the same thing. It's basically what it does is vibrating the ground and bringing them up to the top. It's called thumping.
Okay. Very cool.
See, you learn something new every day.
Yep. For sure.
Can't appreciate your knowledge.
You can use hot dogs and everything, but the issue is when you're using those small baits, you don't usually catch the bigger fish. Not the fish that we're looking for.
Right.
Yeah, but the fish at Lake Mendocino are already small, so maybe there's a hint in there.
Well, you enjoy fishing that lake.
No, yeah, I know. But see, that's what I'm thinking, right? We were thinking Clear Lake catfish, bigger bait, bigger fish. I'm thinking, well, these fish aren't that big, and
my
there's not a
32
ton of
pound,
them.
my 32-pound catfish that we caught a couple years ago was on a piece of bait the size of a fingernail.
Yep.
So,
but it was fresh bait.
I'm thinking fresh bait and a little bit smaller, and I'll catch something. I might even catch some nice striper.
And so you guys should have a side plot for the biggest striper.
We might. I don't know. Who knows? It is the Fool's Bash, so we could throw a curveball for some kind of April Fool's kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And striper report for the sloughs. The big ones are starting to move in.
Okay.
The biggest one we caught the other day was 26 pounds. My buddy got on live split tail, and I pulled in a 21 and 16-pounder.
Very
Nice. That was the week.
And our split tail we were using were anywhere from 14 to 17 inches long.
Nice.
That's one thing that I've never done is use split tails.
Yeah.
Only because I don't have them or didn't get them or haven't caught them or, it just haven't.
Well, and it all depends on who you talk to. Some people think that the split tail is the same thing as a pike minnow.
Right.
They're cousins.
Yeah, they're very closely related, but they're different.
Yep.
Most people don't know the difference, though.
Correct.
So it just and they are very close looking. You got to kind of really look at the mouth and everything. That's the way I tell the difference.
Well, luckily down so soon we don't have the pike minnows.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty much we're strictly split tail only.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Ken. That was very informational. I like it.
No problem, sir.
Anybody else have any questions? We've never had this many people last this long.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
It's the apple juice.
It's the apple juice. Love the apple juice. One other plug. We got some new shirts that we did here. Old Farts Fish and Fish. We're gonna have some of those going up. I did sell a bunch of Bash shirts that people are gonna pick up on Saturday. So if this is kind of your last minute, I'm placing an order tomorrow morning to go get the rest of what I need to get shirts done in time. Get them out to our supplier that's going to make them for us. And yeah.
So can I plug my new SIFT
absolutely.
Facebook page? I'm trying to get followers going on it.
Yes.
I started a new SIFT Standard Issue Fishing Team Facebook page. So if you want to check it out, I'm trying to post mostly new stuff, but obviously I'm going to have to post some older pictures until we get more content to put in there. But
very cool.
Yeah.
Give them a like, a follow, a share.
Yep.
YouTube page coming out soon.
Yep.
They'll get some training on how to do video editing.
Yeah. Stoney gave me some training this last week, and Yeah, I'm still recovering from that, but
Maybe you should have Eric teach you. That'd be better. No, it's good. I'm glad to see you're getting your Facebook going and your team name out there. And
yeah,
I have a feeling you got a lot of new things coming up. I know you got a few projects you're working on that are going to lead into some things you'll talk about at some point.
Yep.
When you're ready, I guess.
Yep.
Leave it at that.
Yeah.
But always something new, innovative, creative.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say you heard it first on A Minute with Stony Stone.
Yep.
I don't know what it is, but you heard it.
Yeah. And if you haven't, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well.
You can wrap it up 10 minutes early if you want.
Yeah.
All righty.
We're going to wrap this up. Appreciate you guys definitely calling in. Next week will be an update on how the tournament went. And I may try to get some teams on to the call to talk about their experience.
You know, one thing I think we need to plug is the bow fishing tournament.
Oh,
that's coming up. Yeah, that's coming up. I'm not sure.
Bow fishing tournament.
Say April 25th or something like that. Let me look here.
Clear Lake, right? So
yes.
Time, I think it's Brandon LeBoy.
Yep.
Is doing that tournament.
I think it's the 26th.
26th.
Yeah.
Are you doing it?
No, but told my wife, I said we might end up doing a charter with him just to go try it out, just to shoot some carp. I think it'd be kind of interesting to try it out.
The bow fishing is to go shoot carp in Clear Lake.
Yep.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it does sound like a lot of fun.
Just sounds like a whole nother expense of equipment.
Yeah, it does, but it's a thing that I've got to try.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it'll catch on with me because I've got to be in bed by 9 o'clock. Right about the time the fish come out, so
that's probably why Old Farts doesn't do those late night ones. It's like, give me something early in the morning, I can do it, but by 9 o'clock I'm in bed.
Yeah. Done.
Why am I in bed by 9? Because I'm up at 3. That's why. It's not because we're lazy. It's just we start a lot earlier.
Yeah, well, our shifts are different.
Yes, we are very different. But no, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I wonder if the bows are kind of like, you have a different rod for every. Are the bows like that too, or is it just you get a bow and an arrow and it doesn't really matter? It's just some
all
quality.
The arrows are different.
Yeah, the arrows are definitely different. But the bow, I'm not really sure about.
But there's a bow expert. Definitely let us know.
Yes.
I'm curious now.
Hey, Stoney. Leroy has crossbows for people who can't shoot normal bows. He has a couple crossbows on the boat.
Okay.
That would be cool.
Crossbow would be fun.
Yeah.
I thought that's how it was, no?
No, but it's a compound.
Well, most people just shoot bows and just normal, what I call traditional bows. But he has a couple crossbows for people who don't have the knowledge of shooting a bow.
Okay. I mean, I think genetically I should be able to shoot a bow, but I don't know.
Yeah. You should.
I don't know.
Well, if you're going to shoot a boat, make sure I'm about 20 feet behind you.
Yeah, I have a feeling I just put a hole in my boat. I'd be like, oh, shit. It would be me.
Yep.
It's funny is shooting, right? To kind of change my, I used to go to my dad's property, and he had a bunch of guns and stuff, and we'd go shoot in the, because he had like 10 acres or whatever, and we'd go out there and shoot. And they set up cans, right? I could not hit the freaking side of a barn, I'm telling you. I could not. But Jill did that freaking shotgun or whatever in there. She's like Annie Oakley there. Just ping, 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 ping. I'm like, how the hell? Even the pistol. She was like, just.
It's a shame because women are better shots than we are. My wife outfishes me freaking 98% of the time. But I can tell her, I put them on the fish every time.
Yes.
So, you got to have someone know where the fish are at.
You're like, see if you can catch them, you can't find them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have the harder part.
I just tell her, if I don't take you fishing, you're not going to outfish me.
Just leave her on the dock. No,
women just have that. My wife, God bless her soul, I love her. She drives me nuts on the boat sometimes because she will not just let her pole sit there.
That's why she outfishes you, because she holds that
damn pole and catches fish like crazy.
And then when she gets the bite, she's not swinging for the fences. I watched the videos of her.
Yeah.
She's not like, why am I trying to set that hook? It's Nice, easy pull. Ooh,
Yeah.
I think I have a fish.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a fish. And
Yeah.
it's like, but it's the finesse. It's the finesse. Little light. I feel something.
Yep.
And she's not swinging for the fences as she
Yeah.
hooks them.
Yeah.
The little circle hook just kind of turns a little bit and it's on.
Yeah. So I
you just got to hold your rod more.
I do. I really do. I might do it tonight, but yeah, she outfishes me.
Yes.
It's great, but sometimes I got to leave her at home so I can feel like a man.
There you go. Well, luckily my wife doesn't fish very often. She only likes to fish in the summertime where it is nice and she can be in the sun but in the shade and just enjoy a beverage or 2 or 3 or whatever and just eat some food, and I'll just sit there and
enjoy it.
That's where I like to go catfishing with her, because I just anchor up somewhere and throw lines out and just let her, we'll play cards or do it, hang out for a few hours and then go home. I've gone trolling with her, which isn't as enjoyable for her, because I'm like, okay, keep the boat that way. I'm watching the rods. Just keep the boat. It's all set. Just drive that way.
That's the next lesson for my wife, is to teach her how to drive the boat. Yeah. And to drive the truck pulling the boat.
Oh, my wife's never even driven my truck, let alone tow a trailer with it.
Yeah. So those are the things, because I would like to sleep once or twice on the way home.
Yes, that would be nice. We used to have a big fifth wheel, like 34-foot, big old long, rolling mansion is what I used to call it. And she would never drive that truck and never drive that trailer ever. Yeah. And it wasn't that I didn't encourage her. She's just like, nope, not gonna do it. Yeah. She just didn't want to do it. And never has. But
yeah. That's the next on her learning.
That's good.
Agenda.
You need a backup.
Yep.
Well, so it was funny, not funny, but when we were a lot younger and we were in the motorcycle world, and we were up at Hollister Hills with the kids and our big old travel trailer and the motorcycles and everything, and I ended up getting airlifted out. Had a big accident, got airlifted out. Well, there she is, stuck with the 2 kids and the trailer and the truck, and she won't drive the truck or trailer. So she's just basically stuck. So my buddy that I normally go with didn't go with us, and so she ended up calling them. They came up so he could drive the truck and trailer home. Man. And then his wife took Jill to the hospital where I was, but even then she wouldn't go. It's like, he's in the hospital, could be dead. I don't know. Yeah. All I say is it was a very expensive day that I didn't remember. Yeah. Because it was like, are you in pain? Yes. And then I woke up emergency. Yeah. I was like, I don't even remember. It was like $30,000-$40,000 helicopter ride. Ooh. And I don't remember it. I'm like, not even remember it.
That sucks. I would be like, you got to give me another ride.
Exactly.
While I'm awake.
I want to see, But anyway, thanks for calling in to A Minute with Stoney Stone and my new co-host, Darren. You can talk, Darren.
Yeah, Darren with Standard Issue Fishing Team.
Standard Issue. So join us next week when we talk about the Bash and see how our teams did against each other. Yes. Did I end up pulling ahead this time? So this is tournament 2.
Yes.
And we're behind you and again. So we ended the year behind you. First tournament of the year, we're behind you. So now we'll see. Yep. This could be a trend. I hope it's not a trend, but.
Well, it's an even playing field because you really haven't fished that lake and I've only fished it once.
So you and I fished once. Same day. Anthony and I fished once without you, so we have one tiny leg up. I wouldn't say an advantage because we didn't learn a whole lot of shit. We couldn't. We couldn't put fish in the boat again. So
it'll be interesting. I'm not counting on catching any fish, but that's all right. I'm gonna go have a good time.
We're gonna have a great time. Yeah. And anyway, hopefully the weather's gonna cooperate. So far, so good. And we will see you guys on Saturday morning.
Yep.
Or I will hear you or see you on Wednesday for
Captain's meeting
and Thursday with Real Talk with Kevin Brock. And hopefully turn into that and hear what Kevin has to say. And he gives an in-depth fishing report that goes over lots of different lakes.
Nice. I will definitely be tuning into that one.
Yep. All right, guys. See you later. Have a good night. Peace out.